Okay.
It is cold outside today.
Yeah, it's nice to hear.
Oh, the picture. Oh,
Yeah, bro. You know, is there singing money and it looks like any familiar faces? Should we see some familiar faces?
I will. Outside all my tires. I couldn't go to change.
I will be back.
Yeah, well, that's what I told you that's safe. But you're scary. Like driving here on the 401 and I put my windows down. Yeah, I know. Like, no, don't do that. Very dangerous. Oh, well, you know what?
Work until like 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's it. One of the safer places you said.
I did. I think
Yeah,
I was okay.
yeah, there's.
My car.
Right, so good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Forward Women in Construction Support Circle, brainchild of our Executive Director, Rosemarie Powell, which should be here in a few minutes to bring greetings. So, this is a groundbreaking initiative and is dedicated to empowering women who are working in construction. And this came out of a focus group session that we had earlier this year. I think some of you would have participated in that same focus group, and to let us know what the issues are that women are facing when going on the job site and all that. So we decided both of that to bolster the support that we're providing to apprentices working in trades. So that's how this movement came about. And we have a committee put together that is going to chart the path forward, and they will be looking at some of the issues that you have mentioned, and we're going to come up with some solutions. So we hope to have some more focus group discussions throughout the year. We hope to do more panel discussions. We'll find that those kind of discussions really bring things close to home, and it gives persons an opportunity to really express themselves. Let us know, because I know persons may not go to your employer, you may not go to your union to express, how you're feeling and all that. So we want to make sure that we provide a safe space for women. And after you voice your opinion, we want to be able to take that a step further, right? To make sure that we provide proper representation for women, and we provide support, right? We need that sort of support. Right, before we go in further, I just want to proceed with the land acknowledgement. TCBN acknowledges that the land we're standing on today is a traditional territories of many nations, including the Mississaugas of Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat people, and is now home to many diverse First Nation, Inuit, and Métis people. I also acknowledge that Toronto's Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of Credit, and the Windham Treaty, signed with multiple Mississauga and Chippewa banks. Many of us have come here as settlers, immigrants, newcomers in this generation or the generations past. I'd like also to acknowledge those who came here involuntarily as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. And so, I honor and pay tribute to the ancestors of African origin and descent. All right. So, we're going into all right. So this is our lineup for today. We have our guest speaker in front of here, and we're going to introduce our committee. We have a very good panel of persons who are trailblazers in the construction industry. A lot of whom you would have known already. So they're going to be flushing out some of the issues, talking to us about some of the issues, and then you'll get an opportunity to ask them questions, right? And interact with them. Then we have a networking session, and then of course we'll say goodbye and bid you all happy holidays. All right, so before I proceed further, I'll just see Rosemarie Powell, our executive director, walk in. So I'm not even going to give her a moment to rest. I'm going to ask her to come and bring greetings.
Thank you for that, Tanesha. You're so awesome.
Zout je het up?
Hi, good evening, or
It's not moving.
yeah, it's great to see all of you families working out there today. This is what construction looks like. That's amazing, right? You're looking really great. Where you are the ones who are going to be in control, looking at what are some of those issues and challenges that you experience on the job site and come up with your own solutions to solve them, because those solutions are within you. So, congratulations on this exciting new venture. And we are here as TCBN, ready to walk the journey with you. And so, yeah, let's get with it. Thank you.
I made a question.
Oh, geez. I wasn't expecting you to be that quick. Hi. I'm Michael. All right, and everybody's able to hear well, right? Okay, good. All right. All right, thank you so much for that, Rosemary. And as I've mentioned, this is really the brainchild of our executive director who gave me the charge to do it. And I'm hoping that um, I've done that to your satisfaction. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So we're going to introduce the committee. But before I do that, I have a trivia question. Who feel like answering a question today?
Yeah.
Really? Nobody? Exactly. No, nobody want anything free. Like usually when we're giving stuff free, everybody's up in there and want to get. No? All right. So question. What percentage of construction workers in Canada is identified as women in 2024? So this is 2024 statistic. What percentage of construction workers in Canada is identified as women?
Is this close to the decimal or are we rounding? Yeah.
As,
Are we
as
getting
close as possible. As close as possible.
15%.
3.9.
5. All right, let me see some hand up because I do have a gift for you. So let me see some hand up and let me see if I can get somebody who's close as possible. All right. So I heard some names over here. So first, all right, Brandy.
3.9.
3.9.
6.
Lolly.
I said 15.
15. Construction, right? Overall construction. There's a further breakdown for trades, right? But I'm looking for the construction figure. Yes. So I think you were answering like the trades figure, right? So did I make it too hard? Did I make it too hard? So there's a percentage for construction workers, women working in construction, and there's a further breakdown of women in trades. All right. I see Lensa want to get in there. No, no Google, no Google. Who is going on Google? No Google. 5, 5, no.
27.
It's two.
Too high.
Too high. 2. 10.
10, close.
15.
Too low. 13.8. Who said that? You Googled it. You didn't? All right. So, yeah. Okay. So approximately 13% of workers in Canada identify as women, and women working in skilled trade is just 5%. So, right. So, right.
That's not right. 4.4%.
It's upfront for. Right. So you see, we're hardly making a dent in the, because we know the construction industry is very huge, huge, huge. Right. So we need to encourage more women to come in, and it is not even the fact that women aren't coming in; it's the fact that they're coming in but they're not staying. Right. And some of the reasons why they're not staying are issues that we're going to talk about today. Some of those issues our panel are going to discuss with you today. All right. So, Elvira, do you want to give it to like a first year apprentice or something like that? First year apprentice. Anybody? First year? Ah. Good. And that's Amanda. She's from our next gen program too. Now with the Carpenters Union, right? Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to ask our committee members to join me here, and I'm going to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. And when you see these ladies, you don't know that they're construction workers. They look amazing, right? Yeah. Like, come on, ladies. Where you?
I'm not first to stand up. I don't ever do that. I'm just very loud. There you go. Oh, we got Oh, yeah.
No. You're coming here, please. Thank you. Come on, ladies.
Okay. They look the same. Where's my pickup? Yeah, it looks like you. I'm brethren.
Okay. All right. So when you pass the mic, I'll ask you to go ahead and introduce, tell us a little bit about yourself. Yes. Yes, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Leslie Chang. I'm a drywall finisher apprentice, and my title is outreach. So if you want some resources, holla.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Angela, and I was a former sheet metal worker. I was also previous to that in childcare, and so right now I am the childcare liaison for the committee.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Stephanie McLean, and I'm a Red Seal licensed electrician. I started with
Wrong direction.
Local 3, that's in Toronto, and I was in 4, Central Ontario, Kitchener, Cambridge, North East Side.
Hello, my name is Elvira. I'm a Red Seal licensed 309A 442 A electrician, and I am the policy advocate on the committee.
Amazing.
I forgot to say my position on the committee, which is the equity and diversity position.
Okay. All right. I just see Madam Chair walking in. Oh, and Vice Chair.
What do you want me to say?
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Juanita Ford, the chair of the Women's Committee for TCBN. Oh, I'm also with CBT, the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists, where we are made up of all trade unions with Black issues, Black workers. We support them in the workplace. Should you need or have anyone that should be included, you can visit our website at cbt.ca and sign them up.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Anita Thompson. I am the vice chair. Part of Local 27. I'm a third-year apprentice. And if you need any help, come to me. Thank you.
And they're so helpful. Everybody said, if you need any help, come to me. So, hence why we have these ladies on the committee. Did we get a proper photo of them?
Yeah.
Um, Come, Rosemary.
With Rosemary and you? Closer.
Peace. Take the headphone off.
I was writing. The secretary, I'm taking notes of what is happening.
Not today. Sorry, Peace didn't introduce herself.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Peace Matayo. I'm a member of Local 113 and the secretary of the committee. Thank you.
We're squished in and out. Yeah.
All right, another round of applause for the ladies who have graciously decided to volunteer their time. This is not a paid position. We're not paying any of them to do any of the tremendous work that they're doing. This is all, volunteering their time and all of that. And so we want to say thanks to all the ladies. And we're looking forward to great stuff from everyone. All right, so we are going to just take a little bit of break just to find out who are all the persons in the room. Yeah, before we get to our guest speaker. So we have a little activity that we want persons to do. We brought pen. We brought paper, but I don't think we brought pens. So I hope you all have pens. I hope you all have pens. All right, so the activity is you have to go around the room with one of these sheets. You have to find persons matching the description in the box, write their names. So we're looking for the person who can complete all the boxes or most of the boxes. All right, any questions? So we're taking one of the sheets, we're finding persons in the room that match. So that means you have to go to people, you have to introduce yourself, you have to ask them about themselves, right? For us to get that done. Good? Thank you so much.
Bouncing back here.
All right, feel free to get up and move around. Feel free to, walk about. That's what's up. And while you're doing that, feel free to grab a drink or water, grab some samosas that we have at the back.
Amanda. I think
I just become acquainted with the building very recently. I'm interested. I got
I did. Yeah. So you're yes.
Slide there. Yeah, you need to the light. Yeah, we. Unaona we live. Msichana alikuwa anaonekana? Ule msichana anaonekana. Yeye anaonekana. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Ni reglage ya telefoni yake. Ni reglage ya telefoni yake. Iko ku restricted mode. Sio kwa side tu yeye. Yeah. Live. Live. Iko live leo. Andele hakuna tani. Nani kamera? Unaweza kadire toujours kamera mzuri. No, no, il faut unaikadire wewe.
I'm task oriented, but I'm also so you get
Self. Yeah. But, you know, her phone is restricted mode. I don't know how even to remove that.
Okay, can I code in on here? What can I code in on here? I'm Brandy. Are you an apprentice? Yeah. Okay, good. More boxes.
So we have about 5 minutes to wrap this segment up. We do have some refreshments at the back, so feel free to help yourself to your refreshments at the back. I said, okay, I'll let you know. I'm just looking back to my take that. Maybe you should mine. How long have been?
And you said you're third year now, right?
This plug is not working. It's not working. Aye, aye, aye. Is there nothing here? No more plugs? Let me get
Can you play the meantime? So this one is What? Let me see this. Let's hear it. What's his name? Are we?
Lo posso assim.
And the putty.
Like carry herself to all this and that, it's emasculating, and I'm like,
Kidogo sana abamganula. Donc kuhabiwa ngazume khona. Bakuni ngoyi. Lima kwanza.
I have been a foreman.
it's in something. I gotta look at it myself. Good. Yeah, it's not taking it. That's like about it.
You're close, man. You're close. I'm trying to try to this time. Oh, do you have one? Okay, which one? Yes. With your first name.
Hello. Right, okay. By now, I think we've met every person in the room. So we're ready to reconvene. Hello. We're ready to get started. I know you're having fun, and I know it's you're having good conversations. So we're happy to see you. We're going back in the room and speaking with everybody, trying to find out as much persons. So quickly, I just want to find out if there's anybody who had all your boxes filled. Anybody? 90%. 90%. Nobody? Beverly? Nobody? 90%? 80%? Everybody has ours? All right, come Beverly. Let's see what you have. Alright, so give Beverly a round of applause. Let's see what she has. 90%. Okay. She just has one box. Hello, hello, hello. Order. Alright, can I have your attention? Can I have your attention, please? This way. Yes, thank you. Networking segment is done. You put grab food and just sit on your seat. We're looking at the person with the most connections, who made the most connection or who spoke with the most persons. And we have Beverly, who is at 90%, so she only has one of her boxes. Two boxes. Works with construction or labor policies. Nobody in policies? No, nobody works in policies? So works on safety and harassment prevention policies. No safety, harassment prevention policy person. Also, we can repeat names. Sits on labor union executive board. Another person, if you don't have Juanita already, you don't have Juanita. Yeah, Juanita sits on union executive board. Three. Right. So anybody with less than 3 boxes, not checked. Anybody less than 3 boxes, not checked. No? No? Oh geez. All right. So I have to give it. So I have to give it to Beverly, right? All right. All right. No worries. So, Beverly, all you want is a round of applause, right? Yeah. You want anything more? Alright. So, can I give this to a second-year apprentice? Pre-apprentice? I'm afraid to say that I don't know if you have this when you or the persons working pre-apprenticeship. One and two. We only have one. When you work that though. I think it's harder to find a second year apprentice. Roughly. Do we have a second year apprentice? Second? Not technically. Are you just then you're second. You need third term. Okay, so you're second year. Alright. So Beverly, your gift is going to a second year apprentice. And round of applause for her. Thank you. Okay, great. Alright, so we are going to, I'm not seeing particular guest speaker, and it's her turn. So we're just going to move straight to the panel discussion. If I can have our panels ready, if we can have our panels. And so for this section, Juanita is moderating this section. I'll just ask that while we're doing the panel discussion, if you could keep your conversations at a minimum so everybody could hear the responses. By all means, if you choose to have a discussion, you sure can. Just go around the corner where you entered in. The questions are going to be focused today around breaking barriers, building inclusive work environments, and empowering the next generation. So I'll have the panel introduce themselves, and we'll start with Brandy.
Hi everyone, my name is Brandy Ferrens. I'm a licensed 313A refrigeration mechanic and a gas fitter one ticket. Been working now in my industry for over 20 years. I now currently teach part-time at Georgia College. I mentor for Support Ontario Youth. I run my own company, Fair Trades Toolbox, that works to help do a lot of the things we're going to talk about today for young women getting in the trades. And then I run a contracting company with my husband now.
Hey everyone, my name is Brooke. People call me Rock, and I graduated at George Brown in construction engineering technician management many moons ago, and a carpenter. Right now, I'm the stakeholder relations at Carpenters Regional Council, reporting directly to the chief of staff, and also. Just an advocate of women and mental health, and just in love with everything that TCBN does. I am an ambassador of TCBN, and thanks to TCBN, I'm with Carpenters Union today.
Hello, everyone. I am McKenna Goodwin. I am a Red Seal General Carpenter. I am with Carpenters Union as well, with Local 93 in Ottawa. And now I work with a nonprofit called Build a Dream as a skilled trade support specialist. So working with women in the skilled trades industry and helping support them through their careers and break down barriers and all that good stuff.
Good evening, I'm Stephanie McLean, and I am a 309A licensed electrician with the IBEW. Started out 353, which is my home, moved to Kitchener, Waterloo. So I'm now with 804, so that is Central Ontario. I also do a lot of advocating for women in the trades, both on my own and with TCBN, NDC, which is Neighborhoods Developing Careers, and also now with my union called 804 in the local women's committee there. And,
So I have 3 questions for all the ladies. We'll give them approximately 3 minutes each per question, and should anyone else have questions, we can ask them before we wrap up. So Randy, I'll ask you the first question. What strategies have you found most effective when overcoming systemic barriers in the workplace for gender biases?
These are all going to be great questions, I know. Plus, they sent us the questions ahead of time. So personally, for myself, there's been a few tactics that have been great. Number one is I remember and I remind myself, which is hard for myself as a female, to not take it personally. So these people don't know me outside of work, and whatever their idea is of a woman or where she belongs in this world is what gets projected on me. So as hard as that is to do some days, I remember I don't take it personally, and professionally I'm there to do a job. So my viewpoint is always I'm there to do a job, I put my head down and I do the job, and I kind of push right past it. I guess you can think of that, like pushing past those barriers, right? And I always find too that there's more good than bad in this world, although the bad really seems to stick to us and hurt a little bit more. So I really seek out my male allies, those that are there to support me. And then last but not least, like all of these amazing women here today, it's support. That's how I get past those real systemic barriers, is when you have one of those days that you can't get out of your head, I call a friend, and I call one of my sisters that are in the trenches with me. You know, like a girlfriend that's not working in the trades, she might be great, but she really has no idea what we go through every day, right? So leaning on a sister for help really makes a huge difference for me to overcome those barriers.
Yeah.
So to repeat what my girl Brandy said, so for me it would be networking. Being able to network with allies, being able to network with women, being able to also network with people in different industries, because you want to make sure that you have that mindset that is completely different. Like really make them see, because if it's not personable, it's not connecting. So when you're telling people that you feel isolated, you're at the job site, you're the only one, no one will understand that until they're actually feeling it. If, for instance, there is harassment, there is anything, it won't be personable until they're touched. So being able to really think about, let's say, for example, a father, if you ask their tradesperson, you ask them to bring their daughter, if one of their daughter will be a tradesperson, they'll say no. They don't want them to be there. Why not? However, if they have a daughter that is at the working at the job site, now all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, you can't treat them like that. You cannot talk to them like that. So on and so forth. So that's what I mean by making sure that when you're networking, taking space also is really important. When you're not invited at the table, bring your chair. Making sure that you're there. Because most of the time you're doing rooms, most of the time where I go, I'm the only Black person or the Black woman. Just like at my first job site, 350 guys, only Black women in there. It was nerve-wracking. I wanted to have that sense of belonging. But what can I do? Being able to be my true authentic self. And making sure that my work speaks for itself. However, when I'm out there, I can talk to men for like, my girl, I even get stuck now. Rosemary, I could talk to other mentors, women, to make sure that they could give you other ideas. She's not in on the tools, but she's able to provide feedback as to what you could do to be even better. So making sure they have those allies. That's what I mean by networking, support system, which I don't want to repeat. And then also making sure also you belong to a union that is inclusive, that really support diversity. Because when we talk about diversity, it's about giving everybody a tool. But when we talk about inclusivity, it's about giving the opportunities, giving the tools, and making sure that you have access to succeed for every single one of us to succeed.
I'll repeat the question again. So what strategies have you found most effective when overcoming systemic barriers like gender biases?
So for myself, I think similar experiences to Brandy and Rock, that finding community and building a support system was really important for me in my career. So coming to events like this, connecting with women, and partaking in things like this. So partaking in Women on Site, having a mentor like Brandy, where you have someone to talk to, it really helps reduce those feelings of isolation, and it gives you a sounding board as well, that when you're going through something, they can help advise you through it. And another thing that was helpful to me was kind of just step back and reflect and remember why I was there, what I was working towards, and that this was important to me. It was something that I wanted, and I wasn't going to let silly things get in my way. So kind of taking a step back, reconnecting with my goals, and then moving forward again.
McKenna.
So thank you, Brandy, Rock, and McKenna, for all
And this
saying
one?
very valid things. I'm gonna take you in the direction of saying know your stuff, especially as a female. Know your stuff. And I really want to say know your shit, because that's how we talk in the trade. Like, you gotta know it. Like, don't it's not fake it till you make it. I mean, that can only get you so far, but make sure you're studying, make sure you're not failing trade school. You're showing up every day. You're asking questions. You're walking around with that notepad in your bag, because you want to be that individual that is ready to learn and ready to make a change and stand out. I stood up for myself, and I advanced through my career.
I just want to make sure that everything is okay.
Push past the barriers of gender bias, because I showed up.
Thanks.
I had the notepad. I had the drive. I knew my stuff. And then on top of that, you do layer it with community. You do layer that with male advocacy.
Okay, thanks.
You advocate for yourself first and foremost. You start saying, you know what, Foreman, I really want to do scissor lifts, like with the scissor lift. I really want to do the distribution panels. I really want to do that. Like, I really feel like I know what I'm doing. I have the knowledge to make that type of work possible. And then that's when your male allies say, yeah, I've seen Steph's work. She has her notepad and she remembers what to do. Like, I can tell her what to do and she gets it done. You layer everything, but you're your biggest advocate always with anything that you do in this life. So you advocate for yourself by telling others what you want to do and where you want to see yourself, but you do the work. You also always do the work so that your actions are in line with your words, and then you layer that with the community and everything else. So that's what I would say.
So for all the people that I see jotting notes down, don't worry, the session is being recorded, and I'm sure it will be circulated so that you can have it in your back pocket. But as a quick recap, what I heard was, allies, have confidence in yourself, get a support system, and bring your chair to the table, even if you're not invited.
And to add to that, it's bring your chair to the table and make your own table.
Make your own table and make your own seat, right?
That's what construction workers do.
So I'll ask the second question, and this is building inclusive work environments. And Rock, I'll have you start us off. How can construction companies and unions actively support initiatives like accessible childcare, membership programs, mentorship programs, equity training, and create more inclusive environments for women? So if we sum it all up, how do we get them to support us?
Great question. For me, for instance, this is really dear to me because 25 years ago, when I graduated, I wanted to be in construction. Got hired to build the Pearson Airport, but to my surprise, with the unique hours of construction, starting at 7, 5, 6, and 2 young kids in the middle of divorce, I could really change my trajectory. So till today, it's still an issue. So maybe perhaps being able to have conversation like this, being able to also not only have women in the room, but our allies need to be here. Being able to also have campaigns really to mention about childcare, because childcare is not only affecting women, it affects also the brothers. Where the company, one of the companies I was working for, they were really open. One of our brother was a single father. He was able to have different hours. So being able to also, what I would say is talking to the government, which I've done once with the Prime Minister, and they're giving $10 daycare, but we need to make sure that those workers are well paid as well, and having those shift works, because at the end of the day, if we're advocating to get child care, but they're not well paid, there's a lot of turnover. So making sure, and it's not just construction though. At the end of the day, it's also the nurses, healthcare needed as well, and all the other, and having spaces. So maybe perhaps, let's say, in construction, there is a unit being built, having childcare facilities in there, right? Because not only women, people who are there working, building it, can have access. However, also we could have people who live in that community can have access to that. What else can we do? Perhaps building policies that will be able to support those as well. Because at the end of the day, you need to have the buy-in of the government, you have to, the stakeholders, you need to have the buy-in of the communities. So TCBN is already doing all the legwork and the outreach work going in the ground. Having those surveys really crucial because you want to make sure that you get everyone's information, and then from there it will be successful. Yeah. Thank you.
So McKenna, for you, the same question. How can construction companies and unions actively support women initiatives, childcare, mentorship, equity training, and inclusive environments?
So I think where that all starts is being willing to listen, because we have thousands of solutions lined up already. We've got it figured out. We've all talked. We all know. We know what the solution is. We just need people to listen to us. So, especially with companies and unions, look within. Have a survey within your organization. Have a focus group within your organization. See what your people are missing. And see how they want to be supported, because they know exactly what they need. And I think another piece there, since Rob spoke on the childcare, I speak a bit more on the equity policies. The Carpenters Union and CSA Group worked on a standard for equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility in apprenticeship programs. And it has been published as a national standard of Canada. It's a very long document, and it walks you through step by step by step, from recruiting people into apprenticeship, sponsoring apprentices, on the job portion of apprenticeship, in school portion of apprenticeship, red seal and certification and completion of apprenticeship. And it tells you all of the best practices, what to do so that you don't, you can't get away saying anymore, well, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what the next step is. I don't know what people want. The document was written by industry experts from across the country. So there are resources out there for employers to use. And there's lots of companies and organizations
like TCBN, like Fair Trade School Box, who are happy to sit down and work with employers and show them the way, show them the direction. The employers just have to be willing to do that.
Thank you. Stephanie?
Yeah, so I like everything that has been said and mentioned already. Definitely it's a really good idea, McKenna, taking it into union and having that internal survey as to what the people really need. And as a mother, a single mother to a young child where, you know, I still have to be on the job site at 7:30. I've literally planned my career. I've had to reconfigure my career in terms of what jobs I can take in order to be able to get him to school and, you know, still be able to get to work on time. And what I find as a mother in this position currently is educating everyone as to what policies are and what policies will allow flexibility for the worker to still get to work a little bit late or retain their job. If it's a trade-off of, okay, you don't pay for that time, you don't pay for that time loss, but there is that accommodation sort of aspect where I feel companies need to kind of, need to implement, and we all need to be educated on that. So I think it would start from internally finding out what we need and then educating us on what we can do and how we can accommodate the need.
And Randy?
I'll bring up the rear on this one. So 2 things for me. It all is education. Change comes from the top down. Employers don't understand how much more money they would make if they had more coverage. So for example, in my specific industry, we work an on-call schedule and we heavily are into service, right? I worked up at a lot of nuclear facilities, data centers, hospitals. When equipment goes down, either surgeons can't operate or we lose a lot of data, or for example, all of Southwestern Ontario can lose power. So when I get a call at 3 a.m., we get in the truck and we go. How valuable would that be for an employer to, instead of only running an 8 to 4 shift, be able to run a 9 to 5 or a 10 to 6? And you can stagger this. I'm not saying every single person gets to pick their own schedule, which when I've actually presented this to employers, that's what they say to me. They go, Brandy, I have 500 guys. I cannot let everyone just work whenever they want. And that is not at all what we're talking about. But it works in other industries and it can work in ours. Even if right now, what if they just offered one other option? When I say to employers, what do you offer right now? There is one schedule. So it's about just what if we tried 2? Now your customers have more coverage, more work is getting done at regular pay. You are not paying overtime, you are not paying double time, right? But that comes with education. That comes with a conversation with the people that are running the show. And thank you so much for shamelessly plugging my company, McKenna. But Fair Trade Toolbox, I did start it as a way to help solve these problems. And number 2, I think Brock was kind of alluding to it, but I always say, like, what if we just had our own dedicated childcare for the skilled trades, right? What if we did that? We have our own uniforms, right? We're starting to get our own PPE. What if we had a facility that did childcare just for skilled trades workers? Yeah, they open up at 5 a.m. You know what? Big deal. Who cares, right? They know what they signed up for the job. I know that there's people that would take those positions as well. Now, I realize that's a big ask, but I really think that's where we need to go, right? We need over 100,000 skilled trades workers, like now. We need to accommodate the individuals that are doing the work, whether that be women, men, or others, right? That's specifically for childcare for the flex hours. And when it comes to inclusivity, retention, and a lot of the other issues we may want to tackle, I'm always going to bring it back to education, right? You have to be able to speak their language, and it's not about sensitivity training to have that inclusive environment. I am 100% against a diversity hire. I never wanted to check a box. I've been the only female and the first in the door everywhere I've worked. And I never got hired as a woman. I got hired because I was a really good mechanic, and I've always had to work that much harder, and they see it, right? So when it comes to that, it's just getting them to literally, in a blind way of hiring with policy and procedure changes, hire the best human for the job, right? Without them having to see and have that unconscious bias towards individuals that don't look like them, right? Or any of those other surrounding issues. Again, education, education, education.
So a quick recap would be to support childcare, listen to the needs of the employees and create focus groups, bring external resources into the workplace, educate, and perhaps shift changes, so different shift allotments.
Yeah, and it just, with that shift changes, the other thing that I'm 52 very soon, and it's an accomplishment, right? Yeah, I'm heading into the great pause soon, so I'm excited about that. We're also talking about aging parents, right? And if you're a caregiver for a parent or a loved one, that also should be recognized and it should be accommodated, right? So it isn't just childcare, but those flex hours would really help on so many levels in our industry.
Just a plug-in, as for the human rights code, accommodation is actually something that the employer must do. They have the duty to accommodate you. There's a list of accommodations. Childcare is one. So you can Google it, and if you need any resources, I'm happy to help. Before I continue, I wanted to know if there was any questions from anyone before I ask the last question.
Yeah.
You gotta pay me to work here.
I just want to. Hello, I'd like to commend the organizers for this event. It's actually very informative, and I'm impressed with the level of information that you're actually putting out there. My question is, I just recently completed my program in project management. And as you said, take that seat to the table. I have even taken a couch to the table, you know, because I am thirsty about getting involved. I'm thirsty about being a part of construction. However, there is still that stereotype that is zeroed in on women. And I can tell you, I've sent out hundreds of resumes. They haven't worked. I have changed my strategy. I've gone to construction sites, and that still hasn't been working. I've called persons, and the first thing that they will tell you, it's heavy or it's a lot of work, right? And then they will just end the conversation. That can have a psychological impact on an individual. So what encouragement will you give to persons who are actually looking to join that field, especially for persons who are, they're too old to be considered a youth, but too young to be considered? That's it.
You try to use the word seasoned.
Yes.
But I'm old.
Thank you for that question. I am a member of TRIAC. I am a TRIAC Toronto Region Immigration Council something. I can't remember the entire acronym for, I've been with them for years. And what they do is they help newcomers. You'll get a mentor. And then from there, they'll match you with somebody in project management. And then they'll be able to help you with your resumes, they'll open up your network. So I've been doing that in engineering, then in marketing, and now in trades. So you'll be able to do that. And then there's TCBN with the mentorship program. You'll be able to also sign up as a mentee, go through that. And also the support system. You have all these people in this room are your network. You know, get our information, talk to them. That will definitely alleviate, will really help you. And being able to just get some feedback, even people who are not here, maybe sometime you could find on LinkedIn, right? But this room is full of people from all walks of life. It's the best bet. So the next gen mentorship program, I should know what you're saying. That's where I started.
The only thing I'm going to add for you is that I know how hard this is. I have been there. I had to sneak in the back door I tried to get in the trades in my late 20s and I gave up. You know, like the interview questions I was asked were ridiculous, but it lit a fire and it bothered me that I wanted to work in this industry and it bugged me. So that fire and that drive, which turns into resilience, that's a superpower. And just the fact that you showed up here today, you've got that going on, right? So that resilience, you can be down about it for a minute, and then you got to move on and leave it in the rearview mirror, right? Because you just got to keep showing up, and that is some days the hardest thing to do for yourself. But if you do that with the support and the systems in place that all of us can help you here with, you're going to get the job, right? Yeah, remember that. Anything you want to add? Yes,
Yes, so absolutely everything that Ron and Brandy has mentioned, and it's true. Like you can talk about it for a little bit, but you gotta get up and get going. Biggest thing again is open your network. Open your network. Once you open your network, and these types of events will really help you do that. And then you keep telling the story. I mean, trying to shorten it here and there, but not to say that it's long, but just to get to the point, right? You're in construction management, this is where you really want to be. I'm looking for a shop. One of these people that has a business in, the TCBN organization, Triac, ACA, things like that, they will point you at this person, that person is looking for some help. And it starts there. And you may think it's small. Trust me, my apprenticeship started because I literally had to do the legwork of pounding down my employer for my apprenticeship papers to be signed. It was very hard to do that. I literally met with everybody that I knew. I found one gentleman who was a master electrician, owned his own business, but had no apprenticing under him. So he was still technically able to sign me as an apprentice. So I said, "So Nelson, you know him?" He said, "Yes, that for sure," because he also saw my work ethic. But I wasn't working there for Nelson. I was working there with another guy. But I talked. I said what I wanted, and I just opened my network. So, thanks.
I would like to add, I think staying true to yourself. Oftentimes where there's a lot of men in a workplace because construction is male dominated, sometimes we're looked at as sexualized, we're looked at as erotic, we're looked at as, that piece of meat on the workplace. But you have to stand in your own because we deserve to be there too. This is not just a man's world. I know we have all other different genders, but in construction it's been known as the man's trade. And the white man's trade. So insert yourself, and I'd like to say this is the reason in the foundation of the Women's Committee with TCBN is that we've recognized that we deserve to be a part of that puzzle piece, but it looks like we're gonna have to carve our way. So make sure all of you here today, even after you leave here today, you get more people to sign on because this is just the beginning. This room can be 4 times full in the next 3 months. But networking is definitely something that we can do, and along the way, that's how we'll support each other and get to where we need to be eventually. So I think we kind of answered the last question. Go ahead.
Can I just say something quick? I just wanted to say you're doing the right things. You're not the problem. And just keep at it. Keep at it. You're keep throwing out resumes, keep coming to events, keep meeting people, keep selling yourself as an employee, and just keep persistent, keep doing it. And with coming to events like this, the construction industry works heavily on a referral basis. So getting to know as many people as you can. As was previously stated, you might meet someone who says, "Oh, actually, there's a company on my job site. I know that they're hiring. They're looking for someone. I'll put in a good word for you." So that's a really great opportunity that you can have.
Make sure you have your elevator pitch ready. Yeah. So that would be really, because when Stephanie said that, it just reminded me an elevator pitch will definitely help you because it's a pitch of 50 seconds, 40 seconds. Let's say you were in the elevator and you were to introduce yourself and you wanted to get that person in contact right away. You'll be able, once you have it really well, so, and then with confidence, it will be good.
Any other questions? Yes. Oh, we have 2 questions.
Hi.
Thank you so much. So my name is Juliet, and I'm currently a student in project management. So as a student now coming up, I just chose my concentration in construction. So I'm about to start this winter. So as a student now coming up in the field, what advice do you have for me? And a friend also asked me to put in a question. She has experience in the banking sector, and she's also now getting into construction management. So what advice would you give her? Thank you.
Okay, I'll start. I think this is also a question, so yes, we're just gonna like roll it all into one. So I know everyone's gonna have a lot of their own take on this. So number one, I would say take what we just all said for this amazing woman here and use that, as well as there is something specific as a skilled trades resume. So I know depending on who you talk to, resume building is a big deal. But when we find people, you're getting into the trades, maybe you don't have any trades experience, there is still a way to highlight your transferable skills, right? So maybe you did have this amazing job at like Aritzia or something. We don't need that on your resume, right? When you're trying to apply for project management. Even I'll give you a perfect example. I worked in a bar for over 13 years before I decided to get into the trades. And I'll never forget one of my first interviews was, well, I already have someone to bring me a beer, so what could you possibly be good for, right? And when I thought about it, obviously I was like, it was like a knife to the heart at first. But then when I walked out and I reevaluated my resume, and this was in my late 20s before I got into the actually made my way in, I thought, you know what? Although obviously the remark was completely offside and unwarranted, I did look at my resume myself and I was like, I'm not really presenting myself in the best light for the job that I want, right? And even today, as someone with 20 years experience, I have a resume when I applied for a teaching job. I have a resume as a journey person, right? I have a resume as a mentor, and they don't all carry all the same things in them, right? So I always put myself in the light that's going to make me shine brightest for the employer that I'm applying to. And I do my homework on my employers, right? So I research the people I want to work for. And that way I am armed with information to charm the pants off them if I get a few minutes with them, right? Or I use that information in a cover letter. That can also help set you apart. So that'd be just a little tidbit for me.
Also, what you could do is volunteering. When you volunteer, you're networking, you're building new skills, you're able to meet new people, and you'll be able to learn even more. For me, what I've done is I volunteered with Habitat for Humanity, building homes for people in need, but I didn't know in my wildest dream that I would be coming back, meeting, joining TCBN and being a carpenter. I was just going there, but I've met people who are architects, people who are in the government, so many different people from all walks of life. So as a student, start networking, talking to your teachers. Say you have a network, get a mentor. So sign up for Next Gen Builders.
What Brock said, the thing I didn't add was when they said that about me working in the bar, I started working at Home Depot on weekends. So I needed to still work at the bar to pay the bills, but I worked at Home Depot to put it on my resume, right? So it helps, like Brock said, right? It was like a volunteer position.
Yes, I love all of that. The transferable skills on the resume is huge because if you look back at past jobs that you have had, and if you can reframe your way of looking at it, I can pretty well guarantee you that there's a bunch of transferable skills that you can put on there that you probably don't have on there. So that's really that's an important thing. Volunteering and getting those opportunities as well is great because it is hard. It's so hard to take that first step, get your foot in the door for that first job. That's a huge, huge challenge. So if you can get some experience on your resume, then it makes that so much easier. It allows you to meet people, grow your network. So that's fantastic advice. And then the other advice I would have would just be kind of as you're going through the process, keep your head up, stay persistent. If this is what you want, don't let someone else tell you that you shouldn't do it. You just, never ever give up, and just keep reconnecting with yourself and keep remembering what you're in it for, and just keep going. Don't let other people tell you that you can't.
Amazing.
And lastly, some advice for me is really much of the same thing that has already been said. But one thing I would really also like to just drive the point in is to definitely volunteer and do some research as to where you can volunteer in a dynamic way. So if you and when I was in public relations, because I do have a background with public relations, we did internships back in the day. So with project management, there may be some type of internship opportunity to take advantage of. I know in the trade, there's some organizations, I know just the trades at TCBN, but what I'm talking about specifically is when duals in the trades, they have tryout dates. So for they have boot camps is what I'm trying to say. It's where you could try a trade. So they had HVAC, electrical, and I believe plumbing. I believe they didn't have carpentry.
We have millwright.
Millwright. Okay, so
You're talking about that's support Ontario use.
Yeah, millwright in the trade.
Yeah, that's millwright. Millwright the other way.
So they did have four trades that you could get involved with, and this is on the tool side, the trade side, but I would say internships for more of the project management, construction side, and also recognizing that every industry that is building up, every sort of big builder, brand name builders, everything like Tridel and Tribute, they all have a team. So thinking outside the box to say, as you drive around your communities, oh, that's a construction company. Let me dig into that and do some research of their project management side. So it's just thinking outside the box, and as you do your everyday thing, you're taking a look around to see where the construction sites are, what titles are on this, so that you can go home and do the research to then see where you fit in. Because oftentimes it's those small companies that are not posting what they actually need in their employment fleet.
So I'll just add to that also, when you're going to be volunteering your time, make sure that you're going to be credited for it. Not saying you have to be paid, but ensure that when you're approaching these small employers, you're saying, I would like to volunteer my hours, but in exchange, I would like for you to be a reference on my resume, should I need one, that I did volunteer here, right? Oftentimes, you don't want them to disconnect you from the time and effort that you put in, that you should be recognized for. Now, I want to acknowledge that our guest speaker is here. We do have 2 questions. So with the 2 questions that are going to be asked, I'm just going to have one question now. I'm just going to have one of our moderators, if you can, direct your question to answer.
Thank you very much. I'm thinking, as we're thinking about the career edge, we know that carbon emissions keep going up, even surpassing pre-pandemic levels. And we know that building emissions is almost half, 45% of the cost. And the city of Toronto is right now looking at building emission performance standards. Is there anything within your own career, within your unions, within your space that you're discussing around sustainability and how it might relate to women thinking about entering that field as a means of, definitely, helping to improve the environment, but for a career edge?
Do you want to direct my question to someone?
Anyone who was working on that.
So specifically for HVAC, the pandemic was really good for business. I hate to say it, but people all of a sudden cared about this air quality that we breathe in, right? And all the things that we do. So if you haven't heard about heat pumps yet, heat pumps have been a huge green initiative that are going on in our industry, as well as working with more different refrigerants that are coming in, right, to help with that, with all of the bad things, greenhouse gases, as well as the ozone layer. So it's really become a niche And one of the ways our trade has been divided specifically is there's a 313D license, which is a residential license. It's only 2.5 years, so it's actually shorter than getting your 313D, which is 5 years. And a lot of smaller contractors, they're gearing their business now towards that industry because it's green, right? And that's what everybody is looking for. So although installation costs are higher, long term there's a lot that's going to come back to the homeowners. So finding smaller contractors that might be looking to invest in that technology, it's going to be a niche market. So that's something that would be really accessible to women if you're looking to really tackle. And I just want to capitalize on what Steph said, because you do have to know your shit, right? You're going to not only work harder, but you have to be that much smarter, right, than they are, because they're going to challenge you at every corner. And that's a market where I really see that women can really excel. Anybody else? I think that was it, just one. Sorry.
And I want to acknowledge that earlier Tanesha had mentioned that we're volunteering our time. It is very important that we thank Stephanie, McKenna, Brock, and Brandy for being here today, because they are not being paid, but they do have they do know that this work is important. So I will encourage you guys time and time again, make the time to come out to these events. I challenge you all to bring a friend or two. As you can tell, we have beverages, snacks, drinks, water, coffee, tea. Right? And we're so hungry. Okay. But I just would like a round of applause for our panelists.
And did you know that my sister McKenna drove 4 hours to get here, and she's going to drive 4 hours again.
Thank you, ladies.
I'm gonna bring it over now. I'm just gonna put my chair back. I'm gonna take my chair to the table. Yeah, they want to. I'll build it with you. Rocks, I think.
So Andrea Hazell is the elected MPP for the Scarborough-Guildwood area since July of 2023, and has dedicated her strong advocate and in the Ontario legislation. She's a longtime Scarborough resident and brings decades of leadership in the financial sector and as a small business owner, helping connecting women and small business owners with the resources to proceed. So hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Andrea has championed healthcare access, serving as the chair of the Caribbean Philanthropic Council of Scarborough Health Network, raising funds for hospital initiatives. In 2022, she received the Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee Pin for her community work. That's a round of applause.
Yes.
At Queen's Park, she introduced bills addressing affordability, Black maternal health, and reliable transportation in Ontario. She also led efforts to ensure opposition's voices were heard on the International Women's Day. She's passionate and driven. Andrea continues to fight for the people that call Scarborough-Guildwood their home. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrea.
It's rolling all the way. Do I really need a mic? Because usually in the chamber they said I don't need a mic. I want to apologize to the panel. I couldn't be here. I tried. This is my 6th event. And let me tell you, I am here because of my sister, Rosemarie Powell. I will never say no to Rosemarie Powell and TCBN. And when I walked through this door, I went to the tray with the cheese and the grapes, and because I am home. I am home wherever TCBN is, because I believe in their vision. I believe in their hard work every day, year over year. They've just celebrated their 10th anniversary. And can you imagine where this organization is today? So just imagine another 5 years, another 10 years, just continue to freaking breaking barriers for our undeserved people. So Rosemarie and TCBN continue the drive, continue the momentum, and you back me all the time. So when I heard about this opportunity, I wanted to be here because of two things. Two, I've got grit, and I am a goddamn trailblazer. And I wanted to make sure I am here to inspire you, to impact, your decisions, and to help move you forward, which whatever your decision will be. The future for you is bright. You stick with TCBN, you're gonna go far. Don't give up on them. Yes. Stick with them. Go through the hard part of it, because on the other side is glory. Amen. So once again, I am the MPP for Scarborough-Guildwood, and I was elected last year in July. And who knows, I would have, come into the political world. I had no intention of being in politics. I worked in the financial sector for over 25 years, and I freaking tried to break that cement ceiling that was over my head. God knows I tried. It wasn't even a glass, because the glass I would have shattered it. Yes. They put that ceiling, and they know why they put that ceiling, to an underserved woman. But guess what? I didn't have to break the cement ceiling. I just moved away from it. I moved away from it. And after 25 something years, they said to me, you're not making the best decision for your career choice. You're going to mess up a lot of your pension plan, but that was a risk I had to make, because I had so many young people that were looking up to me. So I resigned, opened up my own financial company. I did that for 3.5 years, but then when I endure the difficulties that underserved women experience in establishing their own business, I know I had to do something different. So I opened my Women's Foundation. And so that Women's Foundation is supporting women like you, that one, may be going through a career change, maybe two, just need to try something new, and three, that says, you know what, to hell with this, I'm jumping all in. You need us to be there for you. And that's why I found my foundation. It is still alive today. The government is not going to shut that one down. Okay? So this is why I wanted to be here, just to, continue to inspiring and influencing you and impacting your decision. So again, I stand before you not just as a supporter, but as an advocate for the empowerment of women in the construction sector. So let's get into the construction field right now. The construction industry, like many others, has traditionally been male-dominated. Don't you think it's time to kick that shit? Come on. I sit on a committee for the government, okay? It's called Standing Committee for Financial and Economic Affairs. We just looked at Bill 190, and in that Bill 190, the government is speaking about investments in construction industry to make sure that these construction industry sectors are increasing the count for women in the industries. Guys, the needle is not moving. It is not moving. It is still 1%. And so I don't think that we are addressing the root cause. You know what the root cause is? We'll continue to invest in women in the trades construction world. We will continue to do that. We will continue to do that because there is of those folks in the construction industry that is going to retire. This is a great opportunity for you to get involved. Because when woman takes over things, my God, amazing things happen. And innovation, come on. You know we're good at that. The environmental factor of it's a male dominant environment. That's the gap. That's the problem. We gotta fix the problem from the core because men still do not think that we can do their jobs. They do not think we are equal in that sector. And so until we change the behaviors in those construction industry, we're not gonna move the needle. 2 days ago, I've spoken to a couple of construction companies that had their advocacy day at Queen's Park. And they were very real with their conversation with me. And so, even though the washrooms now are better, right, Rock? It's much better than 5 years ago for women. That's just touching the surface. I don't think there's a lot of proper, centers for parents who have their child and daycares options because you're really on that site for a really long time. And so these are the details of things that they're minute, but we have to take them into consideration. And the owners for those construction companies, they said to me, Andrea, it's a male dominant role. And we still have male who's not open to accepting women in those fields.
Get them out.
It's not getting them out. It's not getting them out because we have a lot of younger ones there that is going to be in there for a long time. But we have to shift that mindset. And shifting that mindset, what I can see, and I'm putting this out in the future, we need 100 more women like Rock to get into these companies and do a lot of presentations and change the friggin' hiring system. Guys, I'm talking to you about the core. I'm not talking to you about us putting in investment dollars to say we're gonna hire a woman and it's going somewhere else. That is what I'm seeing from the political side of it. Yeah. And another thing I want to touch on too is we as underserved organizations and people, when we hear that, okay, we are investing in you and we're giving you these dollars, and our head become giddy, and we're happy, and we are running with what we get, I want you to stop. I want you to stand up. I want you to sit back at that table and negotiate for more.
Yes.
Stop thinking that whatever you're getting, you deserve it. No, we deserve more. They can never ever pay us for 400 years of being enslaved. I want you to have that mentality. And I want you to say that I am you. I don't use the word I belong here anymore. I said, I am you. I am you. Exactly what you're deserving of, I am also deserving of that. And I made sure I made this commitment from my people when I went to Queen's Park that life has to be better for our young people. Because I've got 3 of them and I will die fighting for a better future for our young people now so that they can take care of the next generation. Every time we sit at a table and we're making a decision, I want you to start thinking about enough is not enough. Enough is not enough. Don't satisfy with your first offer, with your second offer, with your third offer. You think that's how it's negotiated at the table? It's negotiated to us like that. But on the reverse, you know what I'm talking about, the privileged group. It's not negotiated like that. So I just wanted to put, those FYI information here for you. And please, 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 this is a beg right now, I'm begging you. Financial literacy. Financial literacy. We need to get that down path. And that's one of my core business topics that I usually teach. Because being in the financial sector for over 25 years, I know a thing or two about how we are really not privileged like that, especially women. Let me give you an example. If you have a business and you go to a bank and you ask for a loan and you've got all your paperwork together, all your financials intact, and you go to a bank and you ask for a loan, you're not going to get it. If a man with those documents goes to the bank, asks for a loan, they will get it. So why is it different in the construction industry from the businesses opportunities that I'm talking to you about? We are still living in a male-dominant world. I've seen it in the financial industry, and it's 95% in the construction industry. And so congratulations to all of you. I was at the back listening to some of your comments, and you were right on with all your comments. But I want to have more of you. I want to see more of you. I really want to. I also believe that one of the core focuses of her path forward, and let me tell you, I don't know how you guys came up with her path forward, but I love it. I love it. And so congratulations to whoever came up with that name. Because this is what drives us, right? Her path forward, like her path forward. You're already thinking, whatever this is, I'm moving forward. That's kind of what I felt when I read it. Whatever it is, I'm moving forward, okay? I just know it's in construction, but what the heck, like, this is all about you. Every one of you sitting here, leading your own path, because you are trailblazers. And what trailblazers is, it's getting out of what you're used to, getting into something new, and let me tell you, sometimes you're gonna be feeling alone. But that is when you are changing and you're coming out on the other side to be very successful. Just remember, I tell you that. So we need to cultivate an environment where women can learn from each other and share their experiences, paving the way for future generations of women leadership in construction. Again, her path forward, I want to tell you, I don't care how long it takes me to drive back down here, and it took me a long time. Her path forward, I am with you. I am with every one of you. You aim to amplify women's voices in construction and promote their representations at all levels. A call to action though. I urge each one of you to join us in this mission. Join TCBN and Rosemarie in this mission. Whether you are an industry leader already, a mentor, a newcomer, your involvement matters. Every involvement matters. So I'm asking you again before you leave here. Please share this story. Share this message with 5 more women like you that wants to foster change, that wants to change. Let's get this movement to be, we need 100 women in this movement. Come on, we can do this. We can do this. We need 100 women in this movement. Can I count on you? Yes. I'm very serious. When you walk out of this room, do not be distracted. Be focused on the results, okay? Thank you. I have a scroll to get to the organizers. I didn't come without a scroll, okay? And I had to go shopping myself for a beautiful frame. Not using the government plastic stupid frames. So, come on. So on behalf of the Legislative Assembly of Ontario, I wish to extend my warmest congratulations to Toronto Community Benefits Network. Come on! On the launch of the Full Path Forward support group. Thank you for creating a group dedicated to supporting and empowering women working in the construction industry. This group will be a voice in helping women overcome the many unique challenges they face each and every day in the industry. It is a group that will help shape a positive future for women in construction, wishing you many more years of continued success.
Yeah. And I stay in the back. Kids back. Well, I'm home. Yeah. I love it. I was off on training. Awesome. Of course you can.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for those very, very inspirational words. And I know the women in this who are really, taking those words and will run with it and her path forward. I'm sure. Oh, so as I'm happy that this part is there because this is where it all began. We had a focus group discussion, and out of that focus group discussion, we decided to go to and just keeping that right there, So, yes, Rosemarie.
Okay, the focus group discussion was very good and very important, and definitely that's where it came from. But there was a secondary reason. TCBN's Women in Construction kept coming to our Next Gen Builders retreat with their children.
Yes.
And I needed a solution because I'm like, no, you guys are putting us at risk, bringing your children to an event where we don't have everything set up for. And like literally it was just that practical. I needed to make sure that the next retreat that we had a space for women and for their children. And so that's a very specific thing that I need, at least one of the things that you're gonna work on this activity. We'll actually do it, okay?
We have a child care advocate and all of that. So we do have, people on the committee who are very efficient and, they take care of that. So I want to say again, thank you so much, Andrea. Can we get another round of applause for I'm going to say thanks to her for always showing up. She actually means business when she does not say go to TCBN because I wrote her like a week or so before the event. Vanera, thank you so much. I wrote her like a week or so before the event and she was like, absolutely, let me check the schedule, let's see what's going on. And then she sent me back to say, yes, we'll be there. Right? So I'm extremely happy. Thank you so much for being here as always. And I want to say thank you so much to our panel Were they great? Were they good? I'm gonna invite them to come back here. I hope that I really close our panel. I'm gonna invite all of them to come back here. I'm gonna invite Lensa to come and make a presentation to our panel. Lensa.
Thank you, McKenna. Yeah. Is it snowing in Ottawa right now? A little. Yes.
Thank you so much. We loved it. I'm here and we are hoping to you. It's the first time that you're happy in TCBN.
What is our mentor?
I did win an award a couple years ago with TCBN. Yes, so my first time coming to an event. You're hoping to see more? Of course. And definitely thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We're inspiring the ladies to get rich. So the book is called Think and Grow Rich. Right? So when you all get rich, just remember it, right?
That's practice next week, right? Yeah. Tomorrow.
So, I'm happy that we all enjoyed the presentation by the speaker, and we enjoyed the panel discussion and all of that. I just want to say thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for always supporting TCBN. I hope you had some really good takeaways from this. And we'll be sending emails. Just to give you a follow-up of where we're going. We are actually looking to recruit some women who are going to we're going to be doing different things too. So I did mention that we're going to be having more focus group discussions and continual topics. We're going to be having more panel discussions, right? So when you see these things in your email, please feel free to show up and let us your voices, right? We're going to have, it takes a collective effort for us to actually get change to happen, right? So we want change to happen, we want to increase the 13% of women who are in construction. It takes all of us in this room, right? Thank you so much. You all give yourselves a round of applause. Right, so we have some food at the back. We have a networking segment. I don't want you to leave. We have a nice little space set up on the outside for you to network. Don't leave here without collecting the contacts of at least 5 persons, without meeting 5 persons, shaking 5 persons' hand, okay? And make sure that you start building out your network. No. So you have your question?
Sorry. My name is Grace. I had a question in the next. Sorry, I'm late. So, you talked about the resumes, and where I come from, I have some experience in construction, though mainly is administration. So when I'm doing the resume here, I do the Canadian market is based on Canadian experience. So is that to be included? Do I even highlight it anywhere? Does it matter?
Yeah, just put it on there.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think it's not great, like, all of your experience, regardless of where it's from, matters, right? So it doesn't matter if it's not somewhere because it's your voice home. Sorry, I'm hesitating for that. Yeah, I always encourage you to put all of your experience on there. In fact, if you speak another language, you should put that on there as well. I have a lot of students that will omit the fact that they speak another language because they feel that it hinders their job search. But it doesn't, because a lot of businesses now are serving the communities that they live in. And it actually is beneficial if you put that you speak another language, if you know the customs of different religions. Sometimes we can't go and do work in certain places at certain times, especially in that residential sector. It really can be a huge benefit to you. So I would encourage you to put all of your experience down, regardless of where it's from. And Rob, I don't know if you want to add to that.
You covered it because I on Triumph, one of the member I was mentoring, at first his first mentor was telling her actually, not to put her past experience. But because I told her no, put it in there, she was able to get a job.
Yeah.
And instead of starting from scratch, they were able to take her experience into account because they're transferable skills, no matter where it is, but you'll be tested. And once tested and you're able to pass, from there, they'll be able to put you at the level you deserve. And then also when you have mentors that have companies, they're able to perhaps utilize your expertise. I've done that with Global Connection. I do have a company, construction services and so on and so forth. Because I'm a union representative, that's why I don't mention it as much. And there, most of my mentees, I had them coming on my organization. They've done a lot of work and also training, so on and so forth. As a result, some of them are on HR, some of them are on on all different industries. Because I do serve on multiple different industries, non-for-profit, in various industries as well, as board of director or co-chair president. So for me, it's really important when you do things, make sure that you network, make sure you also not networking in a way where what can I get or when I need something, but what value do you add, do you bring to that organization? What value do you add to that person? Not what you want, not when you need it, because some of my mentees, I tell them, I only hear from you when you need something or when you're looking for work. No, call me, let's talk, let's meet. You're going to do that with other people. Perhaps you're connected. You know somebody else who has expertise doing X, Y, Z. Give them that information. Don't be shy. And then take space. If you don't know, you don't know. It's okay to say that you don't know. Be open and learning, and you'll be successful. Thank you so much.
Great. We're good for this evening. I feel like we could just continue the panel discussion, starting all over again. But we have a nice networking area outside. You want to be sure just grab some food, go out there, just find somebody to talk with. Thank you so much for coming.
Before we leave, can we please give a big round of applause for Tanesha?
Thank you, Tanesha. You're the best. Wait, I gotta fix my leg. It's a leg.
I got it so you want to sign me? My knees, yes.
It's slipping. Hang on.
Perfect.